What's going on, everyone? This is the Aggie Gameday Extra podcast. We are on remote. Oh my gosh, my voice is echoing throughout the entire thing. Okay,
it's gonna be a.
Everyone, it is a live taping of the Aggie Gameday Extra podcast because the entire CNN
Omni
Center
Hotel,
will be able to hear it. What's going on, everyone? This is the Aggie Gameday Extra podcast. I'm Travis Brown, KBTX senior sports writer, and over there, Tyler Shaw, sports director. We're coming to you live from Atlanta in the Omni CNN Center.
The Atlanta Downtown Omni Hotel / CNN Center.
Yeah, so
I mean,
if
it's
you
all
look
attached.
kind of back over the iPad over here, I think you might be able to see the CNN newsroom, is what we believe. So down there, they have a nice Arby's.
Yeah.
There was a WWE exhibit down there earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You could get a championship belt. There was also Beyonce here earlier this week.
I mean, Mercedes-Benz, getting my directions mixed
That
up, but
way.
yeah, it's just like you can literally walk right out the door and you're at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And Beyonce was here for 4 nights here at Atlanta during SEC. It was kind of a mayhem over here. Just like all these events all at once.
Well, you'll excuse my casual appearance, but the reason why I am so casual is because SEC Media Days is over. It's time to kick back, relax. As we know, the always dapperly dressed Tyler Shaw. This is actually what he lounges.
This is my
at
casual.
home.
Yeah,
he goes home and he wants to, take off the suit. He puts this on to watch some Netflix and hang out.
It's about as casual as you'll find me. Yeah.
So, they're done. A&M went last. We'll get to some of the A&M stuff in a second. We kind of started down this path. Like, there is so much that goes on around media days. We get here on Sunday. We're leaving on Friday. There is long days of work. What is your favorite part about media days? And you can't say this moment right now when we're done.
Because all right, I'll give you my second favorite because that is my first favorite when we're done with it all. Oh, favorite moment of media days. To be honest, I like to see the just some of the personalities of the players, especially from just the other teams across the league, that you sometimes will not see at other times. Because right now, it's talking season. No one has lost anything. Everyone has everything in front of them. Everyone is so optimistic. Everyone's a champion at this, in their eyes at this point. So there's not as much sit down serious, we're game week, we're not going to put out any bulletin board material. It's a lot more relaxed as far as the players and their conversations go. So I think just seeing some of the personalities.
It was here in Atlanta. This is the third time it's been here at Atlanta. Of course, the main room is in the College Football Hall of Fame. There's kind of a turf field area in there that they plant us rider types in. And then you kind of have to walk down this long, winding hall to get actually into the Omni Hotel, where the TV media meets with, and there's other breakout rooms and things like that. But you get to mix and mingle with a bunch of other people. This isn't necessarily my favorite media days location because of the back and forth. And as we joked, now with my role at KBTX, I'm kind of the man with no room.
Yeah.
I'm like half in the TV room, half in the writer's room.
And just running back and forth like a crazy person.
So my step count has been really high the last couple of days.
That's
I like
not
it
a bad
when
thing.
It's a little bit more compact, a little bit more all together. Because then I get to hang out with my This is my favorite part, is getting to see all of the other reporter friends that you get to know across the country, from traveling to games and coming to media days and doing interviews with each other. And so, I have some TV friends now, and I have a lot of writer friends, and I just want to be a social butterfly. And it's hard to do that when everything is so separated.
Yeah, there are some people that I will only see pretty much once a year. Sometimes we'll see them at other events. If there's an NCAA tournament where teams cross paths or at an away football game or something, but for for the most part, yeah, it's like I'll see the same faces, and sometimes like you meet these friends, and media day, so you get to see them. So yeah, that is cool. But yeah, as far as locations goes, like Dallas last year was the ideal one of everything being right there on one floor. It was easy to get everywhere.
Nashville was great. It was in Nashville a couple
well,
years ago.
Nashville was just great because it was at Broadway. But
right,
yes,
right. I was about to say, because along with getting to reunite with some old friends that you meet on the is then when you get your work filed, you get to go out and maybe enjoy a nice adult beverage or two. So that's good. It was everything was a little spread out this year, so it was a little different feel to the whole thing. Especially today with A&M. A&M goes last.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like a waiting game for us, right?
Right. I mean, they're batting 16 hole in this batting order. They're just looking to bring the batting order back to the top, get some base runners on, and keep it going. But there wasn't that many people left from the media room. I mean, Eli Drinkwitz went this morning from Missouri, and he joked for the 14 of you that decided to stay, and here I'm not, and there wasn't that many people. It's the second year in a row that A&M's been on the last day.
Right.
You got to think that they're going to get bumped up for our sake, but also just the fact that you get more exposure. There's more national people, more writers. There's more writers from other beats. We talked, in journalism. Competition is good for the reader, for the fan.
Right.
Oh no, we lost our screen. Everybody now can see my password. So it's just better when it's not the last team.
Right.
I think that's something they probably will be pushing for in the upcoming years.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was already gone by then. And at that point, it's like we came all this way, and there's not really that many people to talk to us. Which, I mean, I guess we get more time with the people that we're covering. But like the moderator in the TV room, even he came over to me and asked me, he's like, "Hey, can you please can you be in there for Sam Pittman?" Because I said, "Yeah, I'll be here." He's like, I need you to ask some questions because he was getting worried because he saw the crowd, how little media were actually there till the end, and he even made it a point at the end. He goes, "Thank you to the stations and the outlets that stayed from beginning to end," and he was thinking about us. Yeah, because we were here till the bitter end.
And really you, because you were the one who was there in that room from start to finish.
True.
I was just a nomad.
He saw too much of my face probably. But a lot of it's because it's the last day, people are tired and ready. But A&M was the biggest name for sure going today, because when you think of what we had Arkansas, Missouri and Kentucky are the other ones. I mean, when you compare that to like Tuesday, when Georgia went, Texas went, Auburn, Tennessee, all four of those are pretty big draws. So I don't think it was very spread out very well.
Well, we'll get into it now. A&M, to me, the thing, if you will hear it probably before you listen to this, but on the 10 o'clock news, we just got done shooting something where we talked about experience. Mm-hmm. That experience is kind of the key word when it comes to this A&M team heading into the season. 8 returning starters on defense, something Mike Elko said at the podium. Phil Steele's magazine, he has an algorithm that he has put together to talk about, to lay out what experience looks like. And A&M is the second most experienced team in the SEC. They are the 6th most nationally. And so we asked the players, does this feel like an experienced team? Because on paper, it is an experienced team. And everybody said yes. I mean, it was even something Mike Elko kind of brought up before we asked those questions in our little side scrum, that experience isn't necessarily something that's been talked a lot about this team. What stood out to you? What do you think about the experience of a lot of different parts of this team?
I think it's going to go a long way. And I'm not saying, we've been talking, previewing the football season for a while now, just kind of, what's, next year going to look like. And, we kind of think about our predictions, and everything's been way too early. But as we're getting closer to the start of football season, part of me is starting to weigh how important that experience actually is. And that really might determine, how good this team does is because of their experience. You think about how experienced the 2020 team was. That was the last time they had a very successful team. I'm not saying that this is going to replicate that, but it could. And if it does, you look at that. That's the recipe for success is the experience, especially on the offensive line. Our Armajah Reed Adams talked about that. He said, someone on this line, we want to win the Outland. We want to win the Joe Moore Award.
Preferably him. I think
right.
Kind of
I'm the best in the country. But as a unit, we are the best. So we're also going to get the Joe Moore Award. And we're going to win a lot of football games.
A lot of comparisons with this offensive line unit to the 2020 unit, who finished runner-up in the Joe Moore Award.
Right, and for good reason there should be comparisons because every single starter is back, and they have a lot of experience under their belts. And I think that's one of the units that's the most important aspect of an offensive line is their experience and cohesion together and their chemistry. If you got an offensive line that's played a lot of snaps together, that's only going to help you. And he didn't shy away either. I asked because he said we want to win an SEC championship. We want to be in the national title game. And of course, it's talking season, so everyone's a national champion, right? And I asked him about those lofty goals, and he said, no, they're not lofty goals. He said these are attainable. So I mean, again, really early. But if they're going to have success this year, I think you look back at the experience part of it. There's a lot to like about it there, I think.
Of course, the other piece to the whole puzzle that's asked a lot about is Marcel Reed, the quarterback, who's going to be going into the season for the first time as the named starter at quarterback. And it's a question I've kind of posed in my head and posed to other people. And it's something that, this is now me having to double down and hold to this. I'm going to write a column tomorrow, Friday, a little bit about this question, and that is, how good does Marcel have to be for A&M to be successful this year?
Well, if you ask Mike Elko, I think he would say he has to be very successful because you asked him because we talked about that offensive line. They should be really good, one of the best in the SEC on paper. And then you look at the running back room. As a whole, it has a chance to be one of the best running back rooms in the conference and in the country because of Le'Veon Moss and the dynamics he brings. But then not only do you have Le'Veon Moss, your feature back.
It's the second time you've done that this week.
It is.
Le'Veon Moss, because he is a physical back.
I think that's because I'm getting ahead of myself trying to think of saying running back.
I just think that you think that he is just a pound of muscle back there, Le'Veon Moss.
He is. Maybe that should be his nickname.
Yeah, I think we're onto something here.
Yeah. Anyways, Le'Veon Moss is your feature back. But then you got Ruben Owens back healthy and Amari Daniels. That's kind of a three-headed monster, I think. So you pose the question, you have all of that. Does that take pressure off Marcel? And Elko knows if they're going to be a very successful football team, they need both. They need that run game, but he does not want to shy away from the pass. He wants Marcel to give them that dynamic. Because, yes, if they become one-dimensional, they're not going to make it very far. So I do think, are they a playoff team? I think it depends on Marcel Reed and his development. It's still a lot of unknowns, but he's one of those experienced guys. And I think it's only going to help knowing this year for the first time, he knows going in he is QB1. I think that's got to mean something.
I'm going to go a little different direction than that. I actually think that because he has 5 offensive linemen who return as starters this year, because he has Le'Veon Moss behind him, and Armaj, I did that. Now that's why I keep calling Amari Daniels, Armaj Reed Adams, Amari Daniels, and Ruben Owens behind him. You could probably just run the wishbone and be fine.
He can be a game manager.
Yeah. I think that as long as he is a game manager, that he takes care of the football and picks up the third down conversions that sometimes they might need through passing, that's enough to be successful. Because I think that you return a strong defense. I think that you have a really, really good stable of running backs, and I think they're going to have a really, really good offensive line. I think you can be successful as long as he's a game manager. I think he can probably do more to hurt the team.
All right, don't turn the ball over.
Right, than necessarily, I don't want to say than help, because if he does tear it up in the passing game and he's dropping 40-yard bombs all the time, well, yeah, that's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
But I don't think the narrative should lie on Marcel Reed's shoulders. I think it is the running backs and the offensive line, when it comes to the offense, that should carry this team come fall.
Yeah, and that's fair. I guess that's the definition of successful, because I do think, yeah, he can be a game manager and they can be a decent ball club. But when I look at the schedule that they have and the league that they play in and the teams that they play, if you're talking about a playoff team, being one of the top 12 in the country, I think you need that dynamic. I don't know if, yes, they have a great offensive line and should have a great running back room. I just don't know if that's enough to be a top 12 team in the country.
I think you can compete for an SEC title game appearance
with the game manager.
And I'm not saying that that's his ceiling. I'm absolutely not saying that's his ceiling. I think he could be really, really good.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, I've seen a lot of columns and reports and conversation that says the way that this season goes the way that Marcel goes this season. And I don't necessarily buy that unless he is turning the ball over a lot.
Granted, I think the way the season goes is the way the defense goes.
I mean, the defensive secondary, even more so.
Yes, that is going to be the true tale of how good is this team actually. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point. I do think it's a little hyperbolic to say, it's all on Marcel and the team's going to go that way. But especially when I look at the other quarterbacks around the league, he would be. I think it's because that the run game allegedly will be so good, he can be that much of a difference maker, because there is going to be so much attention on that run game. I think that just opens things up for Marcel.
Over 40 years ago, my parents started C&J Barbecue, and today we continue to honor Dad's legacy with the best barbecue in the Brazos Valley. With locations on Harvey Road, Southwest Parkway, and our newest location on William J. Bryan, we carry on our family tradition of serving up award-winning barbecue, sides, and desserts. We also offer delivery, catering, as well as custom menus and private chef services. Come visit us today for some of the best barbecue around. C&J Barbecue. The C is for Chip, the J is for Joe, and the barbecue is for you.
And part of, I see that too as part of that game management is being really good in the RPO game.
Yeah.
Because that it fits his style, and hitting your targets in the flats, on slants, on little short routes that run that RPO kind of system, on maybe some bootlegs out. That's where he's going to be. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying. I think he has the capability to be a traditional pocket passer. I just don't think that that's what fits this system that Colin Klein is put together. And I don't think A&M will be at their best if he's just sitting back there at a pocket passer. I think...
No, you need to use his legs.
Yeah. So I just think that I would put more pressure. If there's pressure to be on someone's shoulders, the pressure on the offensive side of the ball is in the running backs and the offensive line.
Yeah.
Because I think that they are the ones who have shown the most already.
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of don't want to compare guys, but I think back to kind of a Kellen Mond type quarterback who was also, did a lot in the pocket, was not as mobile as Marcel is, but could do some decent things from time to time in the RPO. And he, especially in 2020, in his senior season, was a good game manager, I think. And to your point, I think that's where you're going with this, is that if Marcel played kind of the role that Kellen Mond may have played, that they'd be a good football team.
Or even a Trevor Knight. And Marcel Reed is going to have, to kind of put more prefaces on this, he's going to have more years at quarterback. And he's going to be able to, I think the next year you look at him and say, okay, he's needing to be one of the elite quarterbacks.
Right.
But in the progression of his career, I think if he is like a Trevor Knight in 2016, with a little bit more pass accuracy, this could be a SEC title contender team. So
while we're talking about Marcel, and we've seen all 16 teams here, if we power rank the SEC quarterbacks right now,
involves me remembering the SEC quarterbacks.
Yeah. All right, I'll just throw some names out. LSU, Garrett Nussmeier. Texas, Arch Manning. South Carolina, Lenora Sellers. Marcel Reed, Texas A&M.
I think
Jackson. You like Jackson Arnold?
I do like the Jackson. I like John Mateer.
John Mateer. Yes,
Oklahoma.
I guess that's who I meant to say. Is John Mateer.
I might have him as maybe some of the best upside for this season.
Yeah.
This year, he might be my number one selection. Then behind him, probably Lenora Sellers. And then behind,
DJ Lagway didn't even say Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
DJ Lagway. You're big on DJ Lagway. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's a fantastic quarterback too. And then you have I think your Lenore Sellers, your John Mateer, are probably in the upper echelon.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have the DJ Lagway, the Jackson Arnold, the Blake Shapen, kind of in
Another
that,
very experienced guy.
right,
Yeah.
in that next category. It isn't very interesting, and the Arch Manning in that, because no one knows what he's going to be. He has a ton of upside, but you've at least seen what John Mateer has been able to do at Washington State, and he comes over to Oklahoma with his offensive coordinator, so he already knows the system. That's you can't quantify how much that helps the whole situation.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think I don't know where you put. Yeah, again, I don't know where you put Archman. I don't know where you put Marcel in there, but he has a chance this season, I think, to kind of squeeze his name in the conversation there when you're looking across at some of the top SEC quarterbacks. I don't think he will be the top, but I think you get a look at a guy like Garrett Nussmeier, LSU. A lot of people have LSU being a really good team because of him and his experience. Yeah, should be, I guess, interesting to see kind of what Marcel, what jump kind of he makes in his game this year.
Who were some of the players, could be A&M or anybody else, that kind of stood out to you this week, whether it be from what you think they're going to be able to do or their conversationalist skills?
I have no idea how he is as a player, I'll admit, but Zion Young for Missouri had the best interview at a media days that I've seen. He got an applause at the end of it. I don't think I've ever seen.
You're not supposed to cheer in the press box.
No.
You're not supposed to applaud in the
you
press
don't.
conference room. And it was a little bit of a sarcastic applause.
It was.
Because everybody else has been so boring. Thank you for being interesting.
Yeah, can we talk? What's kind of made SEC media is a little weird this year. Is usually we have a lot more of these kind of fun personalities coming in here, but it seemed a lot more buttoned down than usual.
Yeah, from coaches to players alike, because gone are the days of the Steve Spurriers and the Les Miles and the Mike Leaches. Even Lane Kiffin, a reporter asked him and said, why are you more subdued this year? Because he kind of was. He didn't really have any good one-liners. Eli Drinkwitz was actually the one that was by far the
he was the most off
Missouri
the rails.
Stole the show.
I guess
knows what their season is going to look like, but they stole the show when
they won media days.
They won the press conference.
Yeah, they won the press conference.
To this go around, it was great. But going back to Zion. There was a young female reporter, who asked him, I think it must be a team motto or something, what does it mean to be an alpha male?
Yeah.
And he starts off with going, well, would you want to date? And then he kind of catches himself because he's like, this isn't probably going the way that I want it to go. And he goes, well, if you could see like the buffering circle was spinning.
Yeah.
One of the Mizzou student journalists, we were laughing about this and showed us that the transcription had all these little M dashes in them to break up his thought process. He goes, if you were a tiger, would you want to date a house cat or a lion? And it just everyone kind of went, I guess he stuck the landing.
Yeah. He somehow got out of that and made it okay.
Yeah. So and then he went on he called you big man.
Yeah, I got a few big mans in there.
Because you are in fact a tall individual.
Yeah, that's true. Fair. He's just describing me, I guess.
He was good. Eli Drinkwitz was good. One of our friends, Tony Catalina at the Austin American Statesman, told us that there's a media dining area for the writers that's like behind the stage, and that's where the coaches come out for their time at the podium, and him and another reporter were back there eating breakfast, and they were just back there when he, like, obviously not going to be at the beginning of his speech because they were back there eating their cinnamon rolls and bacon or whatever it was today for breakfast. And he kind of looked at them and goes, well, I see y'all are going to be really interested in what I have to say, and kind of went out there because, there was 14 people out there. Not really. There was probably about 40. But, it's, he was pretty good.
Armaje Reed Adams, honestly had a great personality for this. I thought, and he didn't shy away from things. We already talked about the confidence he exuded. Everyone at A&M was dressed to the nines, which that's another big part of media days is how do the players dress, and we got some great outfits.
Armaje Reed Adams was wearing house shoes.
So, yes, he was, but it was a tasteful look with his suit. I thought.
It reminds me when I was back in college, my college days. Me and my fraternity brothers decided that we wanted to try to make like nice house shoes, and then like nice brand name like Ralph Lauren pajama pants and polos a thing. It kind of reminded me of that. It's like comfortable but classy all at the same time. I liked the look, but he had this watch that I think broke our camera lens with all the bling on it.
The inside of his jacket was pretty cool with the A&M all on the inside of his jacket. Will Lee had some great shoes. Yeah. The paint splattered.
Like splattered paint style. Yeah. Tori York said he spent many hours in Men's Warehouse
putting together his
whole ensemble.
Yeah. So, it's a big deal.
They go all out, and it's the second time he's been able to do that. My favorite moment was I was asking the A&M players, and I put this on my Twitter, just questions about the new college football 26 video game. And this is the first year that they have the coaches as a part of it. Right. So Mike Elko, the two coordinators, Colin Klein and Jay Bateman. And so there's especially for Elko, there's like a animated visualization of himself in the game on the sidelines and everything. And
doesn't look like him.
No. Doesn't look like him. And especially down to they don't have the hooded T-shirt.
Yeah, that's
a hooded long
staple.
Sleeve shirt. That's what you have to have for Mike Elko. But they were joking around, and Mike Elko said he thought he looks like Will Ferrell in the video game. So that was one of my favorite moments of them cracking up about what Mike Elko looks like. There's a picture that went on social media of apparently Mike Elko and Trev Alberts on the sticks.
Playing the video game.
Do you think they were actually playing the video game, or do you think they said
photo op?
This would be really funny if it showed us playing that? That is the kind of investigative journalism.
It would be interesting to figure out, were they actually playing?
And who would win the game of Mike Elko and Trev Alberts?
Well, wasn't Trev saying that Mike was beating him anyways?
Probably.
I would probably.
I mean, that is a defense on defense battle.
Yeah, I would put my money on Mike.
Okay.
I think he'd get he'd have Trev beat. Yeah. I don't know, just off vibes. I think he's a better gamer.
What would be interesting is if you get the players who know how to play the game,
right?
But the coaches are calling the plays.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or Trev or Mike.
Who calls the better game basically at that point?
I mean, I think Mike would call. Well, the better game
he does that full time right now.
Trev,
he's been out of it for a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's not like Trev does the recruiting, but maybe balancing the budgets and things like that, working with the money, talking to the donors. That's not in the game, but So, parting thoughts, because we're about to sign off on this, and I think behind here we might have 2 glasses of whiskey or something that we can just cheers and go on about our life. But what was the overarching theme of Media Days 2025 as we head into the season for A&M or any of the above?
Okay, for A&M, I think it's. Year 2, they are all focused on improving. Obviously, from year 1, and the kind of the confidence that comes with their experience, the experience of them. And it wasn't a cocky confidence that they have. It was just we know what we're about. We're getting to work. We know what we need to work on because they know there are things that they need to work on. That was kind of my vibes with A&M. The SEC as a whole, I mean, that's such a broad, such such a broad topic to kind of boil it all
Well,
down.
I'll answer
in
that
one.
one.
All
I'll
right.
answer that one since
Yeah,
you
let
answered
me-
A&M. I think it's just that the world is wide open. The conference is wide open.
Yeah.
I think so many times you went to media days knowing it doesn't matter if your team plays Alabama or not. You have to be there on Alabama Day to hear what Nick Saban says because Nick Saban's going to win the conference. And you need to start writing your stories now because that's just kind of the way it's going to be. Right now, yes, okay, probably Texas and Georgia are the favorites.
Yeah. But
But
after
beyond
that,
and even you don't, that doesn't necessarily mean anything that they are probably the favorites. It could be anyone within the top 10 candidates. That wouldn't necessarily surprise me. And I like that because I've
There's
been on
parity.
this beat for 10 years, and for eight of them, it was, well, you probably know who's gonna win.
well, and even the years that Alabama didn't win, it seemed like going into every single season, why would you pick against Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
It was just that every single year, you knew if you're gonna, if you were to put money on something, Alabama is the favorite to win every single year. Right now, it's not like that. So there's probably as much parity right now in the conference as there's been in a while.
And Nick Saban can't ever escape media days. Last year, it was his first, not as a coach, and he was on the set there in Dallas, talking about how his they forgot his credential and he couldn't. And so the whole buzz was that Nick Saban forgot his credential. They didn't let him into the room and and all that. And now he wasn't here this year.
He's still making headlines.
But he's still making headlines because Greg McElroy said early on that he talked to a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy that said Nick Saban might want to coach again.
Yeah.
And so you can't have SEC media days without Nick Saban,
Yeah.
even if he's not there.
It'll be interesting what next year Saban brings to media days.
So we don't know yet where media days will be next year. They said they're not going to announce it this year.
Yeah.
Where would you like media days to be next
I
year?
like it. Las Vegas.
Okay.
To be honest.
Me too. Fair. Me too. But probably within the SEC footprint.
Yeah, I like.
Philadelphia because that's where the All-Star game is, and they were just following the All-Star game.
Yeah, let's just follow the All-Star game. I really like Nashville.
Okay.
So now, but then if we're talking about ease of travel and like bringing all the equipment with us and everything, I mean Dallas wasn't bad either. So
Yeah, Dallas wasn't bad. I mean, Houston could be an option.
Houston is an option. Yeah.
Could be an option out there. You know one that we didn't mention? New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
New Orleans could be I mean, that's pretty centrally located.
Yeah.
I could see
That'd be fun.
a New Orleans media
That'd be a
day.
good vibe.
Yeah. So who knows?
Bourbon Street and
Yeah.
have a good time.
Yeah. Because it's all about us and the fun that we can have with our friends.
That's why I want to go to Vegas.
That's why we want
That's
to go to Vegas.
why I like Nashville.
Well, we need to just stop this here because we've been talking too long, and as you can maybe hear, we are reverberating through this whole hotel. So it's really been a live performance of.
Yeah, really. We've got a crowd behind us.
Aggie
They're
Gameday.
watching
They're
live.
throwing things at us. So we're just going to end it there. We have so much coverage from SEC Media Days on KBTX.com right now. There'll be even more posted by the time this comes out. Go up there and read everything, watch everything that we got from there, and we'll continue posting and using things from we picked up from these media days moving forward. So of course you're going to want to tune into all of the shows on KBTX. Keep watching that and clicking on KBTX.com. Download the KBTX Sports app maybe.
Yeah,
there's one of
why
those.
not?
You can look into that, or the KBTX News app. We're on there too. And then we'll be back. We'll be talking a lot more A&M football as things kick into high gear here in just a couple of weeks. I'm going to make the most of these next 2 weeks because they are my last 2 weeks
Last
of
2 weeks
freedom.
of summer. Yeah.
But then we get right into the season, and once the ball is kicked, you get excited about football. So for Tyler Shaw, I'm Travis Brown here in Atlanta for SEC Media Days. This is the Aggie Game Day Extra podcast. We'll talk to you next week.